really wanted to speak properly about these two parshas. I couldn't do it in a half hour. I probably couldn't do it the whole year. I have to pick out a few things in the parsha that might be relevant for us to learn some divrei musar from. Very interesting Rashi right at the beginning. Rashi says, Rashi says, Ma Talmud Lomar. Why is the Torah telling you this? Especially the Torah told us halacha before. He said a mashal. To a sick person, and he goes to the doctor. Don't eat radishes, and don't sleep on a tachava, whatever tachava is, sit on a bed. Somebody comes, don't eat soda, don't sleep on a tachava. Shlo tamus kederach shemeis ploni. Because if you do it, you're going to drop dead like the other guy dropped dead. So Rashi says zero is yosem in rishon. The fact that when the doctor says that if you do it, you're going to end up dying, it's much more of a zero, is much more of an enthusiastic remark, much more of a compelling remark. That's what he says after Aaron died. And the Sif Chacham goes on, he explains, he says, before we had the mitzvah, and we were warned, so the Torah is giving a much more of a warning. So Kash obviously is, we're talking to Aaron Cohen, the Cohen Gadol, Moshe and his brother. Because I'll tell us Moshe and Aaron were almost equal. So what do you got to compel him more? He's Aaron Cohen. He doesn't he doesn't have to be compelled more. He's not going to a doctor for advice. Hashem is telling him, and he believes it. So you see something very important over here. A person can have a true belief. It could be Aaron Cohen, no questions your belief. But once it's intellectual and not emotional, there's a gap. Big gap between your brain and your heart. And you want to really warn somebody, get to his heart. And we always talk about inspiration. The person doesn't want to be inspired, will never be inspired. We said that the Mr. Hashem next Shabbos will spend the Shabbos again with the Boston Rebbe. The first time we went, it was about 5 years ago. So I told the guy it was very inspiring. And some guy said, yeah, it was very inspiring. And some other guy said, nah, it wasn't inspiring. Because if you want to be inspired, you'll be inspired. But you have to get there. You have to realize intellectually and emotionally something is going on. And if we're not ready to feel the emotion, not ready to work on feeling the emotion and figuring out the tricks, that's what rationally is saying that Rosh realize there's a method, there's a trick. Sometimes there's a trick to turn our emotions on. There's a trick. In the parsha, this parsha is a very strange ceremony. Very strange ceremony, which I'm not going to even try to explain. The Kohen Gadol, they take two goats, or two sheep, two goats, let's call them, that look almost identical. And one on the right side, one on the left side. And the Kohen makes a girl, he takes a lottery. One Lashem, one Lazazel. To explain what Lazazel is, I cannot explain this. I couldn't. If I had an hour, I would be able to explain it because I really don't understand it. And interesting, my son made a bar mitzvah, it's 2 years ago already. And he gave everybody a present, a sefer that one of his neighbors wrote. My son is a tzaddik, and his neighbor takes after his mother. His mother's good midos. So his neighbor was a very big Talmud Chacham and was ill, and his learning, he forgot a lot of his learning. And my son learns with him with Chavrusa, and he bought a sefer to encourage him. So I was looking at the sefer. It's a whole sefer on the whole chumash, but this wasn't my yikra because the bar mitzvah was not yikra. And he has a whole explanation about Azazel. And it's way beyond the scope of this shmooze to say anything about it, but it's a very interesting, maybe so one session one day we'll discuss that. But he says after that, he wants to say a mashal. And the mashal is a Devar Musar Admo. It's not a Chazal, but it's a Devar Musar. It's based on these two sheep. And obviously it's a mashal. But we can take from the mashal something very important. So look at the two sheep, two goats. Very, very similar. They probably grew up together. They probably were in the same herd. They probably knew each other very well. And they're both picked to be standing by the Kohen Gadol. And there's a sheep that, I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's pretty nice to come to Beis HaMikdash. Kohen Gadol's there. And this one gets Hashem, and this one gets Azazel. Looks pretty nice. And then all of a sudden, one of the sheep says his friend, let's get shechted. Oh, my friend, they just killed him. They're cutting him up. They're throwing all those parts of his body on the fire. Nebuch, my poor friend, what happened to him? At least I didn't go there. And then they say, take him for a nice walk. beautiful fresh air. This is great. My poor friend never got to do what I had to do. And I take him a little walk. I take him up to this big high slope. And he said, what a beautiful view. All of a sudden, he picks him up and he throws him down and it's bone smash. One goat is smashed on the mountain. He thought he had it better, but he just smashed on the mountain. The other one was killed in a very respectable way. And it's Kulul Hashem. He was Kulul Hashem. He wasn't on his back. He was an Ola. Kulul Hashem. Ola is Kulul Hashem. So the marshal was, you have two friends, grew up together, very good friends, very similar personalities. And they go to yeshiva. And one guy goes to yeshiva and he works hard. He gets up in the morning and it's hard for him. And he struggles in the learning and he tries hard. And his friend says, no, that's not fun. That's not fun. What do you need this for? And he goes out and he leaves yeshiva. What do I need this for? Get up every day early and struggle with the learning. I'm going to have a little fun. And time passes. And the guy who's in yeshiva excels in yeshiva. And he becomes a Rav or Rosh HaYeshiva and he's well known. The other guy tries to find a job. He gets married. The marriage isn't so good. His kids don't really respect him. One is Kulul Hashem. One is Lazazel. Very similar. So it's very good Musar, I decided. That each one of us has to decide if we're going to be Kulul Hashem or Lazazel. It's a decision that each one of us is going to make in our lives. And it might be the easy decision. It may not be the right decision. It might be easier a certain way. It may be more fun a certain way. But how long is that going to last? Is it real? And part of our problem, part of many people's problem, our problem for sure, is we want the immediate gratification, and instead of we're not ready to invest for the real reward, which is much harder to get. And it's true in many areas of life that the person who wants the immediate gratification is very not successful. And the person who's willing to put in the effort becomes more successful. And it's certainly true in the Ruchnius. In the Ruchnius, there's a lot of effort that's needed. But if you put in the effort, first of all, you guaranteed Olam Haba, you guaranteed Gan Eden. But I want to tell you something, you have Gan Eden in this world. Gan Eden in this world also, the person who's really connected to Rebbeinu Shalom, it's not only Gan Eden there, it's Gan Eden here. I heard from many years ago, and I always repeat it, from Rosh Rubinson Zatzal. Rosh Rubinson was the Rosh HaYeshiva of the Yeshiva Lev Simcha. His son, if you remember, addressed us, I think it was Friday night, in our Shabbaton in Kiryat Sefer. And Rosh Hashanah, I remember saying, he said this in Or David, and I never thought about it before, but it's very powerful. Say Shema twice a day. This part of Shema we say twice a day. Kriya Shema we say 3 times a day. We say Kriya Shema, but this Shema we say twice a day. L'man yu yimechem, v'yimei b'nechem. We should do this, all these mitzvahs, in order to multiply our days and the days of our children. Al Adama, on the land Hashem Yishba Hashem Lokechem, La Seis Lahem, on the land that Hashem promised our forefathers. Kimei Shemayim al Aretz, like the days of heaven on the earth. And I never really thought about what does it mean Kimei Shemayim al Aretz. And the Rosh Hashanah Rubinstein Zatzal said, Kimei Shemayim al Aretz means you'll make your days on the Aretz Kishamayim. It'll be heavenly. And the truth is, we know for sure that those who are more committed to Torah have a much better life. You may have less money, much better life. You know, it's interesting. In this, I was reading this article on divorce, and the divorce rate in society is between 48 and 52%, and in the religious community it's 9 to 10%. Why is that? Because people in our community are happier. They're happier. They may not have all the money, they may be rich, but there's something way beyond the money. There's something more beyond rich. There's a connection to Rebbeinu Shalom. And the connection to Rebbeinu Shalom brings connection to your wife, and brings connection to your kids, and it makes everything much more important. And if Chalila B'chas, we lose that connection, we end up going to Azazel. What do we get? And each one of us has to think about, can I decide to go in that direction? There's a Ramban in Parts of Kedoshim. I would say it's probably the most famous Ramban, because everybody quotes it. I always say any Ramban that I know is famous, but this one is, everybody knows this one, everybody quotes this one. And it's a very powerful Ramban. I want to just read you the Ramban, just explain it for a few seconds. Suppose you get the Torah says, Kedoshim Tiyu. Interesting mitzvah. Be kadosh, be holy. It doesn't say what it means. Kedoshim Tiyu. Right? Yani Hashem Elokeichem. Right? Because I'm holy, be holy. Then there's a whole bunch of mitzvahs. What does it mean, be holy? So the Ramban says, he says, Kishem Shani, Eli Kadosh, Atem Yeh Kadosh. Kishem Shani Parish, Kachem Tia Parish. Just like I'm separated from the world, you would be separated. And he goes on the Rashi, but I'm not going to see what he says. He says, what does this mean, this precious and this holiness? Precious and holiness, what does it mean? Well, precious here, I'm muskeres b'chol makom b'talmud. The Talmud speaks about precious, and Mesilas Yesharim also speaks precious. In fact, we were learning the Mesilas Yesharim of the other Mesilas Yesharim, and there he says that he refers to in the vikuach, in the discussion, the argument between the Chacham and the Chassid, the Meleches HaPrecious, he calls it, working on precious, right? And the Gemara talks about the Chachmei Gemara were called Prushim. So what is it? Va'inyan, I'll tell you what the matter is. Kiatari Yizir by Rayas. You look at the end of this parsha, last week's parsha, the first parsha, Achmei Mos, and the end of Kedoshim by Rayas, forbidden sexual relations. A lot of halachas there, right? Asuri. Va'itiru, be a ish v'ishto. But a man and a wife can have sexual relations. It's a mitzvah. It's supposed to happen. Va'achilas basar v'yayin. You're allowed to drink wine and eat meat. You're allowed to do this 100%. Sometimes a mitzvah, right? Sometimes you're always allowed to do it. You're always allowed to drink wine and eat meat. Sometimes it's even a mitzvah. In Cain, listen to this. In Cain, since it's permissible, since it's mutter, yimotze bal taiva. It's hard to translate. You find that a bal taiva, I would say somebody who's not in control of his base desires. A bal taiva. He's a bal taiva. His base desires control him. Control him. A bal taiva. He says, he became motzi balchem mokam lios shotel bezima ishto on noshim harbos. A bal taiva can be shotel, can be drowning with sexual relation with his wife or his many wives. Lios sov yayin, he could be a drunk. Zole basar, he could be a glutton. Right? And Zolda, he says, Lama v'yidaber kitzono, and you hear him speak. His mouth is like a sewer. B'chol ha'navolos, all the disgusting things. Shlohusker isu zeh Torah. You're not going to find where in the Torah says clearly you shouldn't say those kind of things. V'hinei, this is a famous quote of the Ramban. Hinei ye novel b'shus ha'Torah. It's very hard to translate novel. I'm a novel. A disgusting personality b'shus ha'Torah. He never violates Torah law. Novel b'shus ha'Torah. A disgusting personality. What do you mean? I eat hot kosher meat. I do everything fine. I drink a couple bottles of wine every meal, and I eat a lot, and I fool around my wife all the time. So what? Right? Novel. It's a novel. I'm a novel. Disgusting personality. B'shus Torah, but it's all kosher. The fichach, therefore, ba'akosu, the Torah comes. Achrei sheporet the yisurim. After it tells you all the yisurim, first of all, last week's parsha, it tells you what you're allowed to eat, what you're not allowed to eat, illicit sex, bad food, right? Yeah, this parsha. Right? She'osur legamrei, these are also gamrei. V'tziv sobedover kloli. But here, there's a general principle. Shniyeh prushim min hamosros. Separate yourselves from mosros, extras, too much. Too much. You can't do it too much. You might be miskol kin shomru. You limit the sexual relations, as Chazal tell us. Shelo yeh talmid chacham tzuyas l'seim k'dkarni golem. A talmid chacham shouldn't be with his wife like a rooster's with the chickens, right? Right? You use the wine only for sanctuous, holy purposes. I don't drink all the time. I drink a little wine. I drink a kiddush. I say l'chaim. I don't drink all the time. Right? Shekara kosuf, a nazir kadosh. The nazir who abstains from wine is called kadosh. V'yizkar roas, and in other words, the Torah is telling you a mitzvah kedoshim to you. There's a mitzvah not to be this person, to be kadosh. And I think what it means is You know what the Rebbeinu Shalom is, what Kadosh means? I want the Rebbeinu Shalom to look down on me and say, this man is special. This man is not a maneuver. He's watching himself. He's controlling himself. He's not just letting himself fly all around. Novel B'Shus HaTorah. It's a very, very, very powerful message Ramban is saying. It's a very powerful message. Something to think about. Am I too steeped in the worldly pleasures? You know, I got to eat the right kind of food, and I got to eat the right kind of. Everything has to be my way. Okay, right? And I think the opposite. When we're still showing the Polish persons, I don't need all these things. I don't need all these things. I'll take what Hashem gives me. I'll take, and I'll take what I need. I won't go. I'm not overwhelmed by all these things. Then he goes on. The Yizkor, Haros and Yizkoros Mimenu. Remember the Torah. Remember when the Torah tells you what happens to some people. For example, those who drink too much. The Noach. Remember what happened to Noach? What his son did to him when he was lying in bed naked. The Belot. It's pretty low as bad as it gets to have sexual relations with your daughters, right? And based on these things, you can separate yourself from Tumah. How about Bishlo Huzan Ratar Mimenu? Even though the Torah doesn't warn us against it. So I was wondering, why did you go to such an extreme? Remember what happened to Lot? What happened to Noach? I mean, you told me bad things are going to happen anyway. So I think the same thing as I just said before. That if once we realize what non-control can mean, how bad it can get, I got to realize there has to be control. There has to be precious. I got to say, you know what? I had enough of this. I don't need all this stuff. I can separate myself to a degree. Tremendous message. And the Torah, I always say, the Torah is not high levels of Musar. It's not the Mesilas Yesharim at the end of the book. The Torah is for every single person, every single Jew. Mesilas Yesharim himself says that every Jew has to be a tzaddik, and not every Jew has to be his chassid, right? The person has to decide he wants to be that kind of chassid. But everybody has to be a tzaddik. The Torah is for everybody. This is a tzaddik. This is not chassidus. But in order to become that person the Torah wants to become, I have to say, I am control. I'm not interested in having everything. It has to be my way. It has to be the food I want, the kind of things I want, the drink I want. I am in total control. Think about that. It's such an important message for us. We have to be in total control. We can't just let ourselves flow and be overcome by our base desires. And every one of us has base desires. And the only way to do it right is to have real control. I always say, it's interesting. Used to be the Yiddish expression always was, for someone that lives, is frei. Frei means free, not bound by the rules that we have. And it used to be the expression in Israel is chafshi, free. They changed it to chiloni, which means secular, but chafshi is the same kind of rule. So, what do you mean free? And Chazal tells exactly the opposite. Chazal say, Ein lecha ben charin, ela mishas k'torah. The only free person is involved in the Torah. So it's opposite. The expression is, I want to be free Jew. You're restricted. I want to go to the beach this Shabbos, and you say I can't go. So you're restricted. I want a cheeseburger, and you say I can't eat it. So you're restricted. I'm free. What does Chazal mean? Because Chazal realize that if I let ourselves just flow with whatever we want, we're not in control at all. There's no control. I'm overwhelmed by anything I see, but anything I want to do. It means, you know what, if I'm involved in Torah, I'm in control. I am in real control. Real control. I can do it. I can stop it. That's very important. It reminds me of the story they say about Rabbi Yitzchak from Levi Yitzchak that he went around on the Erev Pesach, and he said there was some kind of silk that was smuggled into where he lived in Ukraine, and if you would be caught, you would be sentenced to prison for 40 years or something. And he asked somebody, "Can we get some of that silk?" He says, "Yeah, for Rabbi, just give all the money, you get the silk." Then he goes around a little later and says, "I want a loaf of bread." Loaf of bread, Erev Pesach. He says the Tsar has all these soldiers, and the Tsar has all these men, and they're going to fine you, and they put you in jail. And the people still have the silk. And you don't have fines, and you don't have any soldiers, and nobody has a loaf of bread. So he says, we're really free. We listen to everybody, Shalom, we're in total control. Total control. Something to think about. If we want to really be free, I'm ready to, everybody, Shalom, I'm ready to listen to you. I'm ready to connect to you. The end of the parsha. It's an interesting Rashi. There are two interesting Rashi. Let me read them both to you. Rashi says, Torah says first, Vayisem li l'kedoshim, it's a repetition, you should be holy to me, ki kodesh ani, because I'm holy. V'avdil eskem min ha'amim liosli, and I will separate you from the people to be with me. Rashi says, it's a Gemara really, Im atem muvdolim mehem, hari atem shali. If you're ready to separate yourself from the Goyim and all the things that the Goyim want, you're with me. Being lav, and if you're not ready to do that, Hari atem shel Nebuchadnezzar v'chaverov. You'll be with Nebuchadnezzar and his friends. That's your choice. Choice is, you want to be with me, or you want to be with our enemies? With Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar is Titus, it's Hitler, a lot of people in history. Choice that we make. Who do you want to be with? You want to be with me? Im atem muvdolim, you'll be with me if you moved on. I'm not one of them. I'm not like them. I don't do what they do. I would even go so far as I said, I don't listen to their music. I don't eat their food. I don't do anything what they do. I'm not like them. Because if I'm not like them, I'm with him. And if I am like them, I'm with Nebuchadnezzar and his friends. So we read the next part of Rashi, which is interesting. It's not really tied to this, but it's an interesting part of the Rashi. The question is how it's tied to that could be your homework, how it's tied to the Pesukim. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah Omer, Binayin shalo yomer adam nafshi kotze b'vasu b'chazer. Ugh, disgusting. Pig meat, that's disgusting. Shrimps, whatever, eat that. Yevshi lovush k'layim, I would never wear k'layim. I would wear k'layim. I will yomer evshi. I would love to taste the shrimp. I would love to have cheeseburger. Umay, I said, what should I do? Avishamayim gozer alai. My Father in heaven said against me. Separate yourself for the people to be mine. Do for my sake. Separate yourself from doing the Avera and accept upon yourself the heavenly yoke. In other words, people say, what's it? Pig meat, it's stale, it makes you sick, it's delicious. And the only reason that I don't eat it is I want to be his servant. I want to be accepted by myself, the heavenly yoke. Are we there? Do we want to be there? Are we trying to be there? That's the whole reason that you spend this year in yeshiva. Hopefully, the reason is because I want to be mafdil myself from the Goyim. I don't want to be the Goyim. I want to be kadosh. I want to do what the Rebbe Shalom wants. I want to accept upon myself the heavenly yoke. And it just doesn't happen by itself. It doesn't happen automatically. It's true that the yeshiva is a tremendous mikvah. I'll tell you a story in a second. The yeshiva is a big mikvah. But it's only a mikvah if you want it to work. It's only a mikvah if you're trying. Now, the Rambam's famous expression is Tovel v'sheretz biyado. I went to the mikvah, I'm holding on to the previous corral. It's making me tumble. I can tell myself 100 times with holding on. Yeshiva, you want it to work, you got to let this stuff go. Yeshiva is a mikvah. I'll tell you a quick story and we'll close. I heard this from Telzer, Talmud, was learning in Yeshiva Telz many years ago. A gifter made a shidduch for one of his Talmidim. And it was about Tshuva. The truth is that Rabbi Yifter himself is about Tshuva. We're bringing in one of these firemen. We'll bring him in to speak. That's I wrote the Years Ramban book. So we'll bring him in one of these days. I'm his buddy. So we'll bring him in the musician. So he was just some family about Tshuva, and the family said, "How can we have a marriage?" He said, "Ben Nida." His mother was a Nida. So Gifter says the yeshiva is the greatest mikvah mitar. She was the best mikvah, and it's true that she was the best mikvah. But it's only a mikvah for you want it to work. If it don't work, it's not a mikvah. I'm going to close with one other thing. It's on my mind because I was telling Rebbein this morning about it, what the yeshiva is supposed to be. I usually say Parshas Noach, but I didn't say it this year Parshas Noach. I'll say it now. It's a word from Rav Yitzchak Hudner. Rav Yitzchak Hudner was a Talmud. He's the Rosh HaYeshiva of Chaim Berlin, a Talmud of the Alter Slobodka. And believe it or not, when the Alter Slobodka passed away, he went to Rav Kook to learn. So, so that's just something about Rav Hudner. Rav Hudner said the Torah speaks of two places. It speaks about the Teva. Teva was a terrible place to be. It was crowded. It was smelly. Very smelly. Imagine all these animals living there, right? Smelly. You're not work day and night feeding the animals. Very hard work. It was a very, very bad place to take. They're there for a year. But you know what? Outside was a mabul. So it was better inside than outside, even though it wasn't so great inside. Torah was another place, the Mishkan. Mishkan is Shechina. This is the Mishkan. Outside is beautiful. Not so bad outside, but inside is Shechina. So Fuder says the yeshiva today, it's the Teva and the Mishkan. Because outside's a mabul. The world outside is terrible. And inside is the Shechina. That's what we have. You came to yeshiva. You came to connect with the Shechina. If we're not doing it, we're really missing. And time is flying. You know, you say it's almost Pesach. Well, now it's not almost Pesach. We counted 22 last night. So it's 5 weeks till Shavuos. No, it's 4 weeks till Shavuos. 7 weeks. It's 4 weeks till Shavuos. By Shavuos, the year is over. So we're almost. It's our last 5 weeks of yeshiva we have. Let's take advantage. Let's use it. Let's make this our mikvah. Let's make this our mishkan. Let's make this our teva. Let's realize what we have. Let's become kadosh. Let's separate ourselves from all the garbage of the world. Make ourselves, accept upon ourselves all malchus shemayim. Let's realize that we do that, we're with Hashem. And if we don't do that, we're with the Nebuchadnezzar. If we do that, we're cool Hashem. If we don't do that, we're Azazel. Let's do the right thing.